0, 1. Let's get started.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United show. I'm your host Andreas. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. Just a few things to get through today, but we can actually say finally we are 1 week out from football. How exciting is it? Things are slowly now all fallen into place to get us ready for what's going to be a crazy year or a crazy season of football. Let's just get ready for the next 6 months. A few things to talk about today. I'm going to touch base on what's happening with my live, obviously for next week. We're going to, I really want to talk about and put the question to people, who do you think will be more ready, TJ or Jakob Ryan, to take that spot should one open up? And yeah, just to get ready and go over a mini preview to the GWS game. Let's get to it. So just in general news, there's no real update on anything in regards to injuries, suspensions, or anything like that coming out of the game against Richmond. I have been keeping a very close eye on what's happening with the whole Steel side bottom situation with that bump that he did, but nothing's come up, so I'm guessing that's pretty clear now. We would have heard about something by now, you would assume. Other general updates are the grind that premiere on YouTube or the Collingwood website drops tonight, at some point tonight, which would be fantastic to watch. So we can obviously talk about that as we go into the videos next week. And I think the last ones will drop roughly when I do my live on Tuesday. So another talking point. There's no real general updates or anything like that. The boys are obviously training next week, getting ready for round one. So that's good, but in the same token, no news is obviously really good news. So as you've probably seen on my Instagram and all that type of stuff, we are going to be doing a live this week, but I've chosen to do the live on Tuesday night instead of it being on Thursday night, simply because the season starts on Thursday night. A lot of people, Collingwood supporters, AFL fans in general, are going to be watching the game. I think it's Brisbane and Geelong are playing at the Gabba, I believe. So, excuse me, I believe that everybody will want to watch that. No one's really going to want to jump on a live and talk Collingwood that when the season's the first bounce of the season. So we'll keep it pretty sweet. We are going to do it on Tuesday. But with that being said, on Tuesday, the live is going to be, we're going to have fans jumping in and stuff like that. I'm going to put people on, have your say, have a listen. I've got confirmed George from RCCS Social is going to have an appearance on there, and also Matt from the Queensland Collingwood Supporters Group is going to be on there as well. And there's a few questions that I want to ask him about the actual supporters group, which will be fantastic. And then anybody else that wants to come on, the link will be in the chat, and we can just go from there and we can talk all things Collingwood. But we will be doing a full proper season preview on that live also. It's going to go for just over an hour, so it's going to be crammed in. Do not miss it. So Sunday, the season starts. We're 1 week away now. All the talk and stuff like that, now, for me personally, it needs to be just like brushed aside. This is where the business starts, as we all know. There are many things that I'm looking forward to seeing, and I've spoken about so many of them throughout this YouTube on this YouTube channel, with player series and player spotlights and talking about positional structures and stuff like that. We are going to see already in round 0, we're going to see the club sort of stretched in regards to positioning. Now, hear me out. Mason Cox isn't going to play. Dan Houston's not going to play. Jordan De Goey is most likely not going to play. So you've got your starting halfback, a tap ruckman, and you've also got an on-baller relief forward who, you know, these guys aren't going to play. So already you're going to have positional changes in which we don't necessarily want. I'm counting on Maynard playing, which I'll get to in a minute, but I'm counting on him playing. With these players out, my biggest, I wouldn't say concern, but my biggest curiosity is going to be who's going to play in what position, especially in the back line with Houston being out. I think now from this Richmond practice game, Perryman's going to be playing in the midfield. I think that's just, there is no way known he's going to be playing in the back line. Collingwood have got him for a midfield role, and I think that's where he's going to stay. I think Scott Pendlebury would be more of a chance to play off half back if they can fit him in there, as opposed to Perryman. You need Perryman now around the ball, especially while Tom Mitchell is out. I'm not going to drop a team on this video who I think is going to start for round 0. I'll probably do that again on my live and say this is my final thing, which obviously everybody can comment on, and anyone who jumps on can do theirs as well. But I just don't think that Perryman is going to be on the half back line. It's going to be very interesting to see where it all starts. I think Reef does get that spot at centre half back. But I want to lead into now, and we'll do a proper preview of that game later on during the week next week as a separate video. But I do want to put the question out to everybody here today who's watching this video. Who do you think is more ready to take the next step and get that half back line position now, which is pretty stacked with Maynard coming back in? Is it TJ? Is it Jakob Ryan? Who is next in line? Or is it going to be Oleg Markov? Are we going to stick with him now, obviously being in the rookie position? Are we going to stick with him coming straight back in and being that next favourable option if there is a clink in the chain, if there is a hole in the back line, if excuse me, if someone goes out injured, suspension? Who is the next person? Is it TJ or Jakob Ryan? My personal opinion is it needs to be Jakob Ryan. I think TJ's got a lot of great assets, and he will be a long-term Collingwood player in the future. I just think he could be someone who potentially could play on the wing once you see the likes of Pendlebury, Sidebottom, and those type of players eventually move on, whether it be in 12 or 24 months' time. I think TJ could technically probably play on the wing, and then you can make sure Ed Allen is someone that starts in the middle. And then that allows Jakob Ryan to play on the half-back line. I would be putting Jakob Ryan on the half-back line. I really was encouraged by what he showed in the match simulation against Brisbane, and also against that Gold Coast sort of setup. I was really impressed with the way that he played, and I think he should be the next in line. Then TJ, then obviously Markov on the rookie list. With that being said, though, Markov played a really good game against Richmond too, and he sort of gave everybody, or the coaching staff, I would have thought he gave them a little bit of a, hey, don't forget about me, sort of, wave to them and say that I'm still capable of playing in this position and in this team, which is fantastic, which is exactly what you want. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. Just a quick message out there. If you haven't already, could you please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel? It would mean the world. We're getting heaps of views. The traction's been really good. But yeah, we'd love to get the subscribers up. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, and you'll get your daily dose or your weekly dose of all things Collingwood for the fans, from the stands. Call it as you see it. And as always, guys, go the Pies. So also, just to finish off the video, I have put a football tipping competition together for Black and White United. It will be on my Instagram, so please click. I don't know what's wrong with me. I thought I had a bottle of water before I started this video. Anyway, I've put the bio for my Instagram on my YouTube channel, so click that, and then on my stories will be the link to the it's on the ESPN app. It will be the link to the actual competition. Please join. There's about 20 people in there at the moment too, which is awesome. I just thought, you know what? People are doing it. I'll do one as well. It's all pretty much on the same platform. So once you put your tips in there, it'll go to all your competitions that you're in, which would be pretty easy. So please, if you can, join that. I have got an update with hoodies and stuff like that because people have been messaging me and asking me. I will have a template of that hopefully, fingers crossed, I will have it on Tuesday, which means I could technically show people on the live this is the product, which would be fantastic. If not, it'll be later on during the week next week, hopefully before the first game of the season. But we are now, this time next week, we are going to be biting our fingernails. We are going to be praying to God that we can get the win. Just finally, before I go, there's been so much talk, especially on Twitter or X or whatever, and opposition supporters are now saying the same thing, that Collingwood's run, they're playing all these teams now that have injured players and all this crap. We have, which has been rated by journos, and it was on Fox Footy's Facebook page or whatever, one of the hardest starting fixtures in the competition, regardless of who's out. Already, they are making excuses that, this player's out. So you've got, obviously, Bont's going to be Bont, Trelaw, Cody Waitman, and Hugo Hagan aren't playing for the Dogs. Butters is out for Port Adelaide. GWS have some suspensions, Riccardi and whoever else, and Tom Green's injured for GWS, so he's not playing. Carlton may not have Curnow. Sydney don't have Errol Golding, and he won't play in gather round by then. Well, we're missing DeGoey, Mitchell, Cox, God knows what. Don't buy into the bullshit. Don't buy into all the people making pre-excuses for us for winning, right? Knowing our luck, we'll probably drop something that we'll probably drop a game that we shouldn't. But with that being said, don't buy into all the crap that opposition supporters are throwing at us. We can only play who is in front of us, and let's just attack it and just get those early wins and keep the good vibes up after this game against Richmond. The way that we played, there was something different about it. Our transition was fantastic. Everything looked good. Let's just get straight into it. For now, tell me what you think. Leave a comment. Call it as you see it. We're 1 week out. As always, go the Pies.